Give a piss about nothing but the time. Let Bama play.
Give me Alabama to break.
When somebody takes what's yours, and this is our game, it's our time, and there's a bunch of guys trying to take it from us, so that makes the shit personal.
It's Saturday night talking Bama, baby. We got JT on back this week, baby. We back with it. We got JB in the house with us, the man of the people. We got my man Marshall at the top right there, joining us live from, I think, the beach.
Yeah, I'm
exclusive location. Exclusive location. We got my man, the myth, the legend, Stephen M. Smith right here at the bottom with all the answers tonight, guys. JB, man, how you doing tonight, brother?
What it do, y'all? It's JB, the man of the people. Saturday Night Live talking Bama. We are officially 4 Saturdays away. Yes, Saturdays away from the kickoff of Bama whooping ass season. That's what we're going to call it. And it's about to go down. Marshall, what's up, man? Where you at? You at the beach? How you feeling?
Oh, boy, I couldn't feel any better, man. I'm so excited to touch up on some of these topics. I got so many questions for Steven. Not even. Oh, yeah. I don't have enough time.
How you doing tonight, Stephen M. Smith?
What's up, Stephen?
Man, I'm just happy to be at this house, man. It's been a fall camp 3 days. I've been pumping the electrolytes in me. The sun been beating down my skull at 105 degrees. Thank God for Jeff Allen putting that towel on my neck today so I can feel what the players be feeling. Well, I felt like I was out there coaching them kids today, man. My God.
You look like you've been coaching.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you got special treatment? You got the towel on your neck too?
Man, look now, cause I'm sitting here looking at the defense linemen and they getting the towels on their neck, and I'm looking at Jeff Allen like, hey, can I get one of them towels? Jeff said, not right now, man. Hold on, not right now.
I don't blame you. Hey,
I
don't blame you, Steve.
Now, I'm not gonna lie though. When I walked onto the field, there were 3 cold tubs full of ice on the field.
What?
And I almost wanted to jump in one of them.
Hey, it probably would have felt good, but your body might would have went into shock from how hot it was to that cold, man.
Probably so. But it was like 3 cold tubs full of ice just off to the side where the outside linebackers were. And I'm like, bruh, if I jump into one of these tubs right now, I may not make it out.
So, guys, in the chat real quick, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Roll Tide to everybody in the chat. Welcome in, guys. We're going to start off with who we're sponsored by tonight, guys. Workspace Solution, guys. If your business needs a digital presence, a full-fledged marketing team, SEO, and more, there you guys need to contact today, guys, right here at the bottom, workspacepros.com. JB, who else we sponsored by, brother?
The football season truly never ends. To support your Crimson Tide 365 days of the year, get yourself a title towel. Go to whitwillsports.com. Use the promo code STANDARD. Get you a nice little discount courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standards.
Hey, so Chris Williams is in here early. That boy said DJ Paul, Crunchy Black, Lil White, and Bubba Sparks. Hey, that low-key's funny, though, bro. I'll give you that.
Shout out C-Dub in the chat, man.
Yeah, what up, Chris Williams? We see you in here. Whitwill Sports in here, guys, in the comments. Title Tower ups, baby. Yes, sir. So, real quick, guys, we're going to jump into our first topic tonight. Stephen Smith's about to break this down for us. Week 1, Bama Fall Camp. We'll just let you run, and then me, JB, and Marshall will jump in with some questions. But you just kind of give us what your kind of rundown 3 days in, man.
I mean, the rundown 3 days in has been interesting, guys. I mean, in 17 years of Coach Saban, I was so used to practice being at 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 p.m. Kalen DeBoer, nah, son, you up here at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 a.m., 9:20 in the morning. So it's crazy. You get out there, it's already 80 degrees. By the time you go through a couple of stretches, it's about 90, 95. and then it gets even higher than that. So, but he get those guys out there early. But the players have really been loving it. I found the guy that's controlling the music at practice. I found the guy with the aux cord. the first 3 days, and it's been a mixture of a whole bunch of stuff. Today was actually the
I heard some Morgan Wallen, Stephen M. Smith. I heard some Morgan Wallen on there one day.
Now today's been the little Boosie day. They had a bunch of Boosie going.
Okay.
So they had a lot of they had a lot of Boosie going today, but the last 3 days combined, it's just been a mixture of different music, getting your mental in the zone. David Ballou has turned into Scott Cochran. He been out there getting them folks' mind right in pregame warm-ups. They posted a video of him in the middle of the practice field, just getting at everybody like, I don't care if the sun out here. We don't care. We bam. We practice if it's hot, if it's cold. We about to die. Yes, I'm like, Ballou had me ready to run through a whole wall before practice even started. But so far, the group that I've been very impressed with, the young cornerbacks, they have all stepped up. Talking to Kane Wommack and Coach Maurice Linguist, Jalen Mbakwe has made the biggest strides from spring ball to right now. Like that guy's playing, and Mbakwe's playing.
How long's he been at Bama so far though? What about 6 months?
Yeah. He came in the spring. He was an early enrollee. He came in January. Okay. So but then Zabien Brown, and I remember I sat there and I said from watching his high school tape, he's got Patrick Surtain-like ability. And the more I'm hearing from Coach Maurice Linguist, it's real. Like Coach Mo was like, look, y'all, Zabien, high football IQ, high football intelligence. He eats football up. His eyes, his hands, his feet, he never gets fooled. He's always in the right place. That technique is where it needs to be at. And plus, now he's added 10 pounds. Zabien's 190 now.
Okay.
He's 190. So
yes, sir.
Zabien, Mbakwe, and State they have taken tremendous strides up. And this is scary for opposition because if one of these three freshmen pop off quick, like if all three pop off quick, awesome. But if one of these three pop off quick, the future is crazy for Alabama football in the it's crazy for Bama football in the secondary. All three of, the freshmen have popped off. Red Morgan is getting more hands on more balls, pass breakups, interceptions, that type of thing. Deshaun Jones has earned the nickname Day-Day from Kane Wommack. Not Day-Day on Friday, but he's earned that nickname from Coach Wommack. And then Damani Jackson has looked extremely impressive. So while people were poking fun at the corners at SEC Media Days, within the first 3 days of fall camp, them corners have come to play.
That's
Steve,
wonderful.
Let me since we're talking corners now, I got a question for you. Just from what you've seen and the word on the streets down there in Tuscaloosa around the campus and whatnot, the DB room, okay, so it's a lot of young, inexperienced guys. They have to learn this new system, Kane Wommack. You got the two vets in there, Malachi and Keon. If you had to say, if we had to play a game next week, who will be the starting cornerbacks back there with Keon and Malachi in the secondary?
I would say the starters would be Jackson and Jones, but Zabien in that rotation. Zabien is that first freshman in that rotation. He's the first freshman. Okay. I think behind him, Mbakwe goes out there, but I think Zabien is so locked in. The movement that he has, he mirrors you. Like he literally mirrors you. And the kid coming from Mater Dei High School in California, they trained him extremely well. So to bring him to Tuscaloosa, the coach that he's got from Coach Linguist, like they're ready to let Zabien go now.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I can see that. Marshall, you got anything?
Of course, absolutely. Because you know me, JT. The DBs is my favorite position group. That's what I got to play in high school and whatnot. But you've been talking about Jackson and Brown and everything. And you obviously want some of the freshmen to take the rotation. But Steven, is there any other transfers or anything else of that nature that you can see creeping in there,
Mm.
because we've talked about it in the past how Kane and everybody has made this defense simpler, but it's still complex in its own way. Where do you think we can improve on that?
I think the main thing is going to be having those defensive pass rushers really pop out, and that's the best friend of a defensive secondary is when you're having guys consistently rushing the quarterback, getting after the quarterback. And I feel like for the first time, since we've had coordinators like Kirby Smart and Jeremy Pruitt, Kane Wommack's got dudes that can affect the quarterback. He mentioned, hey, we got Jamarian Latham who can do this. LT Overton can do this. Jordan Renaud can do this. Keon Keeley can do this. He mentioned Quay Rusall can do this. James Smith can do this. He popped out quite a number of guys that can affect the quarterback. And Kane kind of gave a smirk on Thursday. He was like, hey, like, we liking the rush. We're able to generate off this thing. Kane Wommack is like, look, I want sacks and I want turnovers, and these guys are understanding this. So it's going to be really, really intriguing. I got a chance to talk to Christian Robinson, the outside linebackers coach. He's like, Q-Rob, Quay Rusall, and Keanu Coote, they're ready now at that Wolf position. Those three are ready now. Yonsei Pierre has taken a big leap. He can get in there. And then you look at the two freshmen, Ja'Shawn Ross and Noah Carter. Those two are really developing. So Bama's got dudes that can make the job of the secondary a whole lot easier. It's just now which ones end up popping of the names that are listed.
Steven, I know you mentioned a bunch of guys there. I also saw a tweet you posted about Keon Keeley moving to the he's going to be on the D line. Tell us about Keon Keeley's potential on the D line as opposed to linebacker.
I'm gonna say this. Freddie Roach wanted him on the D line. Freddie Roach wanted him. Jamie Mosley wanted him. I mean, he was recruited to be an outside linebacker. We know that. And we saw him in the spring working with the defensive line. I kind of thought it was an experimental thing. No, it's not. It's real. Freddie Roach wants Keon Keeley hand in the dirt coming after a quarterback. Keeley's gotten thicker. He's gotten bigger. His calves, like his body now is a cut between Will Anderson and Terrell Lewis. That's Keeley's body right now. That's his physical makeup right now. And the big thing they want from him is, can the potential become production? That's what they want now. The potential is high. It's very high. The physical tools are all there when you watch Keon Keeley. It's now, can you turn that potential and make it production on the field when we're looking at sack numbers, tackle for loss numbers, quarterback pressure numbers, those types of things. Keon Keeley is looking like a defensive end. He's like hand the dirt, edge bend, speed the power, knock your face off. He's looking like a defensive end.
Yeah. We need that.
I like that.
Yeah.
And speaking on defense, when earlier, I was, everybody's seen the clips and stuff, man. I saw one the other day from Kane Wommack, and he was like, this ain't no drill. He was like, drive your to the ball.
Yes.
And he was lighting into somebody's. All right.
Bryson Hubbard.
We need it. We need it. Yeah. And Stephen Smith, I want you to break that down. You told me earlier today that he lit into somebody today too. And just break that down for me real quick. That intensity we have on defense, coach.
Bryson Hubbard ran a drill wrong, and Kane Wommack lit him on fire. Like, Kane is a young Jeremy Pruitt. I'm going to call it right now.
Okay.
That's Kane Wommack.
I like that.
Kane is like, look, we finna kill everything moving. That's Kane Wommack's mentality. And we saw what he was able to do at South Alabama, but he was the head coach at South Alabama.
True.
He wasn't the DC. So he wasn't able to unleash what he really wanted to. Now, with him not being the head coach, he's the DC. His main focus is defense. Kane is going to unleash some stuff we've never seen before. Like he is really about to dip into a bag and pull something out, kind of like what we saw from Steve Sarkisian offensive wise. Kane Wommack defensive wise is going to pull this.
Oh, I would love that. We would. Oh my goodness, we had like a 2015, 2016 type of defense again, man. That style of score or blitz you to death too.
I'm gonna tell JT. I'm gonna tell you how crazy this man is. Kane Wommack is in practice Wednesday. The heat index is 105, bro. Kane was on the field in a jumpsuit.
Yeah,
in a jumpsuit, and we interview Kane. We like, bro, you all right? He like, yeah, I'm good. I lost 7 pounds. I'm gonna get it back. I'm like, man, like, dude, crazy.
It's called setting the tone. Setting the tone. You got to come out there. And,
I mean, they gonna say they hot, but hey, I'm in a long sleeve, bro. I'm in a
look,
jumpsuit,
Kane is in a hooded jumpsuit with the hat on, giving everybody the business. I'm like, okay. All right.
A quick stat I had to point out that's going to help out the defense, in my opinion. There was an incredible stat. Kendrick Law ran 23.96 miles an hour the other day at practice. Think about what that's going to do to your DBs and how they have to mentally prepare, because they're not going to see too much other talent across the country that has that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, right. And then you're looking at, you're seeing Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe competing against each other, like high end competing against each other. That's crazy. Just looking at that and seeing these two competing against each other. Then you've got at the tight end position, the transfer from Washington, Josh Cuevas, was behind CJ Dupree. So Josh Cuevas was number 2 at tight end. Now, according to Nick Sheridan, the 2 leaders in the room, in that tight end room, would be CJ Dupree and Robbie Oots. But with Oots being more so a H-back, he's more so of a blocking guy. Now, he'll get out there and catch the football. But with him being more so of an H-back, it looks like Cuevas is going to be that number 2 tight end, unless Danny Lewis can put some fire under him and come up somehow. Because Danny Lewis is freakishly athletic from Louisiana, and we've been waiting on Danny to kind of turn that corner a little bit. We're going to see, can he do this as fall camp continues? But Cuevas, the transfer from Washington, was number 2 at tight end behind CJ Dupree.
Okay, and if you're looking at a tight end breakdown there, that Robbie Oots being the blocking one, and then CJ Dupree being more of your kind of guy that's gonna pass catch, maybe run. Yeah, kind of. He's still gonna block. Obviously, that's still part of the job as a tight end. But he's probably gonna be more of the guy you might see run a route or two, versus the other. But Robbie Oots, man, I was rewatching film the other day, and he had a side block in the Tennessee game that led Milroe to down the field big. And mentioning him, that just makes me think of his blocking skill instantly. And we need great blocking, not good. We need great blocking this year.
And the tight end room is a talented room. It's not getting a lot of conversation because Alabama really hasn't used the tight end the way it would need to. But when you look at Kalen DeBoer, whether he was at Southern Illinois, Eastern Michigan, Fresno State, Indiana, Washington, he has used those tight ends exclusively. I mean, today I even looked at Ty Lockwood has put some weight on. He looks nice. Yeah. Ty Lockwood looks nice. Jay Lindsey, the freshman, looks pretty nice out there. So, I mean, it's just utilizing that position group. You got to get that ball into their hands and see, okay, what do we got here from this tight end room? We know the wide receivers, but let's see, what do we really have in this tight end room?
Look at that super chat right there. We got,
yes, sir.
Shouts out Don Parker for the $5. Keeley just has to be Keeley. he definitely can potentially be that Brian Orakpo level if he just strives to be the next Keon Keeley. I haven't heard that Brian Orakpo name in a long time. Shouts out to you,
and he was a beast at Texas. Orakpo was a beast at Texas. And I'm saying the potential for Keeley is there. It's just now his time. Make it production now. Come off the edge, mean business. You're wearing Will Anderson's number. That's a tough act to follow. But your job is, as Don mentioned, be yourself.
Yes.
And make that production happen yourself. That's the biggest thing there for Keeley.
I'm glad you said that, Don, because wearing that 31, just like you just said, Steven, you can not possibly be him. That's way too much pressure. Be yourself and do what the best you can do. That's all you can say.
Now I'll answer the Jimmy Lee Baker question.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I saw that.
LT Overton was at practice today. He was sick, a little bit of an illness. He didn't go the first 2 days. He was back today, and LT was moving. He was moving in drills today, so he was back. He was with the defensive line. He was in that second. He was in that second tandem. Because that first tandem was Tim Keenan, Jaheim Otis. That second tandem was Tim Smith and LT Overton. That second duo right there. So LT was back. He was working the day, getting back to the swing of things after missing the first 2 games because he was a little bit sick. First 2 practices.
Okay. Before we move to the next topic, I got one more question. Steven, since we were talking about the defensive line, do you expect a lot of rotation pieces from the defensive line?
Yeah, it's going to be heavy rotation. Edric Hill is going to get in there. Jordan Renard is going to get in there. Jeremiah Beeman is going to get in there. Isaiah Faga, I'm starting to like him. He's starting to grow a little bit. He's going to get in there. Freddie's going to keep guys fresh. We know the main 4 guys, Tim Smith, Keenan, Latham, Jaheim Otis. James Smith is going to get in there. They're going to rotate guys. They're going to spot play guys. Guys are going to be fresh out there. And this is huge because, like I mentioned, you've got 12 bodies. It's a bit more than 12, but you got 12 bodies that are going to be fresh when you talk about getting to the 3rd and 4th quarter of a football game.
Ooh,
that's good to hear, man. That's awesome. Great to hear. So let's move on to the next topic, man. This is a big discussion piece right here.
Yeah.
So is Bama overhyped or would they be underestimated coming into this season? And I want to start off by saying both things can be true. Both things can be true.
Yes.
So Marshall, I'm gonna start with you, Marshall. You got a look on your face. What do you think? You think Bama's overhyped? You think it's just too much talk, or you think they're underestimating us this year?
Oh,
from first things first, underestimated, no doubt, because everything has been about Saban left, Saban this, Saban that. We love Nick Saban to death. Nobody's gonna replicate what that man did over his 20-year career in just Alabama, let alone what he did at other schools. But we are now in the Kalen DeBoer era, and I am I'm going to just sit back and watch when I see people's facial expressions. It's going to be the what we saw in the 4th and 31 play last year at Auburn. That's going to happen at least once a game. They're going to be like, I thought they were supposed to be bad. I thought these guys weren't supposed to be prepared. The situation where we think the youngness of the team is going to happen, it's not going to happen. We can hear it from just seeing what Steven is saying from what is happening at practice. If they're doing this at practice, I'm seeing coaches running drills with them and stuff in videos and whatnot. And that's going to prior to the field whenever the coach gives a certain play and the player's going to be able to execute it. And it's going to be underestimated, man. If you don't let me talk too long,
I like it. Steven M, come on. What you think?
You could say it both ways, but for me, I'm gonna go criminally underestimated. Criminally. And this is why I say criminally. People make it feel like Nick Saban did Kalen DeBoer and like Ron Zook did Urban Meyer at Florida. Remember when Ron Zook left Florida, he left Urban Meyer with nothing, and Urban had to build that whole thing back up himself. This is not the case here. Nick Saban left Kane DeBoer with 2 years worth of stuff in that cupboard. There's a lot of stuff in that cupboard that Nick Saban left Kane DeBoer. And Kane DeBoer is about to seriously maximize his cupboard worth of stuff. People are talking about, well, Alabama's got no receivers. They've got receivers. They're now about to show you who they are. People look at what Alabama's got. People talk about Ohio State's running back room. Bama's got arguably the best running back room in the country. We're about to see this now. People talk about what does Alabama have on defense? No, the defense. Kane Wommack is about to unleash the bomb. He's keeping it under wraps for now, but you can tell by the look on his face, he's about to unleash the bomb. So I think this team is criminally underestimated just due to there is so much that this team can do and that this team is about to provide.
And see how this team handles adversity as well. It changes, however, they have pieces to be great if they play to the standard. Yeah, Don, you're right, man. They got to play to the standard. 100%.
Yeah. JT, give us your take. Give us your take, JT.
I got to piggyback with everybody because I was in a live last night and people were giving predictions and my jaw literally dropped because literally folks were saying Bama was going to go 8-4, 5-7, 9-3. We were losing to LSU, Tennessee, Auburn, Oklahoma. I mean, all these teams they were throwing. I'm not joking, guys. It's not a joke either. People, and these are people that are legit. I mean, I wouldn't say legit, but they're like, I mean, they're good sports fans. Like, they know their stuff. Like, and they were saying that, and I'm like, how? How can y'all say? Like Chris Williams just said, we're going to lose 5 games. That's trolling, bro. Like Stephen M. Smith said, criminally, yes, because people are saying that. It is wild. Nick Saban left gold stockpiled in there. Gold stockpile with LANK all over it. And then just to touch base on something, we're going to touch on this subject later, but I'm going to say it now, part of this. If you've watched the LANK documentary, you see what Greg Buren said about Alabama is all about giving their student athletes a chance. That's the biggest recruiting pitch there is. So, guys, you got to think underestimated fully. But I think at the same time, we're going to prove, like Marshall said, I'm going to sit back and just watch them, man, because this is about to be hilarious at the fact that people's going to be like, I thought they were supposed to suck. These people won't be in our chats no more. We won't see them no more. They won't be around. They'll come back at another time when Auburn gets a 2029 commit. They'll come back, and they'll let us know about their 2032 commit and that he's in 8th grade right now. And you know, he's committed to Auburn, though. You know, that's what they come to our chats for.
Yeah. Okay. That was well said. So, for the most part, everybody's saying underestimated. And then, you know,
JB,
I posed this question.
How you feel?
I posed it for a reason.
One.
I know. So, like I said at the beginning, both things can be true. Of course, we are overhyped. We are overhyped because we are Bama. And every year we're going to think we're going undefeated. We're going to expect to win every game. So the fans, all of us, we overhype Alabama. The media, the other fan bases, Chris Williams, all Bama Killer, all those guys in the chat, they think we are overhyped. But you have to look at the landscape of college football over the past 15, 20 years. Bama has been at the top of the food chain. So we pretty much deserve to continue that. They're going to say that Nick Saban is not there and Bama's going to fall off. That's where the underestimation comes into play because they think Kalen DeBoer, okay, he did that at Washington. This is Bama's too much pressure. This man can coach his ass off. He is a great coach on the field. Now, everything that happens over the field, he's going to have to get used to it because the pressure is going to be on him like no other. So, that's why I'm saying both, but underestimated, sure, because they don't expect us to be back in contention for the national championship this year. A lot of people don't expect that. We do,
True.
but a lot of the naysayers don't expect it. So we got to continue to LANK, just like Miro and Terrion came up. We got to continue to LANK. And Stephen M., the coaches that's on the staff, a bunch of new coaches, they got to have that LANK mentality too. They got to let the naysayers know that, okay, y'all say we coached at South Alabama, we coached at Buffalo, we coached at all these different places. They're going to say these guys can't coach in the SEC. They're going to say it's too much for them. So they got to have that LANK mentality as well. Put it all in the pot. Put it all in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what comes out of this season. And the Bama fan in me is expecting to go undefeated. I'm expecting it. But I'm also a realist. So if we go 10-2, make the playoffs, it's still success.
We can host the AJB. Look at it like this. We'll host a home playoff game probably at that point. Yeah. That would be elite. The first round of home playoff games in this new playoff system. That would be Tuscaloosa would be.
But the goal is to win the SEC still. It's still to win the SEC.
Yeah. I'm just saying if you don't, that is something for just this year because it's the first run.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be dope to have a playoff game in T-Town or just, in whatever team, if you go for another team too, like you just got to think about it as a college football fan. That's a different perspective we haven't had that I think is going to be really cool. It's the NFL kind of 2.0, honestly, because eventually we'll start talking about how seeding matters in these things soon. We don't know it that well yet, but once this thing starts unrolling, we're like, no, they need that 6-7 seed, so they'll be home. If not, Alabama's got to go to Ohio State and play in January, where it's freezing cold. You see what I'm saying? So it's, different, different things you got to look at with that.
I got a quick question for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't every coach eventually have to prove they can coach in the SEC because they have to join the SEC first? Weren't these same questions arised whenever Saban went to LSU and so on and so forth? We can bring a laundry list out, but he's done it everywhere else.
Yeah.
Here and Marshall, here's my thing. Just being around these guys so far at fall camp, all of these assistant coaches got a dog in them. All of these assistant coaches got a dog in them. Coach Mo got a dog in him. Coach Colin Hissler got a dog in him. If you listen to Coach Jamarcus Shepard, he got 2 dogs in him. This entire coaching staff know, it ain't just DeBoer, it's all of us. We all got something to prove. We all got something to prove. People outsiders look at us as a staff and go, can we as a staff have Bama win a national championship? And I think this staff has a lot of bite to them. This staff has a lot of bite to it. And I'm going to say this. I think the coach on this staff that may have the most surprising year is Christian Robinson with these outside linebackers. I'm gonna tell you, I think that's the coach that could turn out the most surprising year. I understand. I understand. You're not having Dallas Turner anymore. You're not having Chris Braswell. Those 2 off to the NFL. But if Q-Rob, Quay, and what's his face, Colt all pop off, and they all cut for the quarterback, Christian Robinson is the coach that is gonna probably have the biggest year.
And his phone gonna start ringing. They're gonna be trying to get him to come to other schools.
Paying money too, man. Yep. So you got to think this is a showcase for all these coaches. Y'all, Marshall touched on it a minute ago when he said about he kind of spoke on DeBoer, but this kind of trickles down the tree here. All these coaches got something to prove right now. That their jobs are on the line. They got to put the best plays out, the best players that'll execute the plays in the games under the lights. So it's one of those things that this coaching staff has got something to prove, not just the players, So I think we're going to see a whole different type of energy in a good way, but not dissing anything to do with previous teams. It can just be a good way over here, and this is a good way over here. It's just parallel with each other. You see what I'm saying? It's just that way. It's their way.
So their championship teams, they both won a championship.
Different. Yeah, you're right. It just depends on how you look at it. So we'll kind of move past that. I like that topic, JB. That's a fantastic one, and you know it's really good right now to talk about this, the overhype or underestimated, because it's a coin flip of who you talk to right now on that question. I don't feel there's a lot of medium. I feel it's they're overhyped or they're gonna be ranked 6 in the SEC, you know, type deal. So they're crazy, but we'll kind of move on, guys. This is one that I'm kind of big on right now. The rest of college football is kind of big on right now. Effects of NIL. Will the commit stay? We're seeing guys commit in 2027. We're seeing guys taking, you know, getting looked at in the 2028 class. 2026s are committing now, which is kind of, that's a little normal right now. You know, that's not far out to, you know, if you want to commit to a school right now and lock down, that's not, I can kind of get 2026, but we're seeing 2027s come through. They were just out at the cookout. So, Stephen and Smith, I might ask you, man, the effects of NIL, who stays or when will it come to where they're going to commit to the school, you know, or is Alabama kind of doing that with like the LANK documentary? They kind of put it out. We're committed to our players in a whole nother level than anybody else.
I mean, NIL, guys, is so crazy because you're getting guys that they commit to the money, not necessarily the school. They commit to, you know, who's got the best deal for me. But I feel like what's so special about the University of Alabama with the LANK documentary, what Jalen Milroe and Terrion Arnold have done, and not just broadening the Alabama umbrella, is you get the NIL, but then you can also come in here and make your own name for yourself. And I think that's going to draw, you know, a lot of these commits. You had the 2027, the linebacker from Moody High School that recently committed. I think he's going to hang on. That kid can be something very special. A good friend of mine, Coach Leonard Stevens, actually trains him. That kid can be awesome. that kid can be something nice.
Do you know anything about Rock, the other guy that committed?
Let's see here. Say it again, JT.
What was it? What was his name? Is Rock? What's his name?
I think it's Barack Willis.
Barack.
Yeah.
I saw his Twitter name. I knew it was something Rock. And I heard he was good. I heard he was really good.
He's good. And I look at, I think Bama can get a lot of these guys to stay here. I think Bama can get a lot of these guys to stay here, especially if they're able to have this NIL, right? Educate these young men on, if you go out there and you ball, you're going to get this. But we're going to also educate you to where you're going to get this and you're going to also win at the same time on the field. You're going to be able to win games. You're going to be able to win individual honors. You're going to be able to win championships. And most importantly, you're going to be able to win that generational wealth at the next level, that being the NFL. I mean, here's another thing. NIL, you look at, I don't know if people have been watching the NFL Top 100. Bama had, 13 dudes on the NFL Top 100? Look at how big of an NIL pitch that is. You had 13 dudes on the top of the NFL Top 100. You look at who has recently gotten paid in the NFL. Tua just got a big paycheck. Jalen Waddle just got a big paycheck. Christian Barmore got paid this offseason.
Smith got one last year.
Devontae Smith got paid. Amari Cooper got paid this offseason. Trayvon Diggs got paid not too long ago. Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts getting paid money. So there's another NIL pitch. You're using all the resources, whether it's the NFL, whether it's, you know, the LANK documentary. I think not only educating these kids in terms of that NIL to where they can make that money off of likeness, but also getting them to understand you can win here in a variety of ways. And I think Greg Byrne being the force out of that is going to have a lot of these kids being able to stay.
I want to touch on
real quick, Petty, real quick, and I'll let you go, JB. Get Don Parker's comment right there and pin that so Chris and them can see that. I want to see how many Auburn players are in the top. Yeah, they were going. And also,
there
guys,
you go.
Daniel Petty's with us tonight. He's running the back for us.
Shouts out Petty.
Shout out to Petty, man. He's killing it backstage for us, man. There
Hey,
he
yeah.
is.
Hey.
There goes
Chris
Petty.
Love, one love, Chris
Yes,
Nett,
sir.
best thing in Bama.
JB, what was you saying? I'm sorry, I had to get Don real
Hey,
quick. That's
it's
a
all
good one
good.
right there.
I was gonna
That's a
pick
good
it.
one.
So I was looking in the chat too as y'all were talking, and let me say Chris Williams saying the players that Auburn took from Alabama accepted less money to come to Auburn because they wanted to win championships. That's totally wrong. He know damn well that's wrong.
That's
And
way wrong.
yeah, so let's nip that in the bud. And
Hey JB,
also,
I don't know. You saw the Facebook post. Buddy had all the money out. Derek Smith, bro, he had all that money out.
Mhm.
Yeah, bro, they
So
paid him big money.
yeah, so we already know Yellowwood dropped the bag on, but we ain't gonna talk about all that because it's a Bama show. So but I'm gonna piggyback on the 2027 guys and 2028 and all that. So this is 2-3 years down the line. What if these guys, if they're 3 stars now, 4-star, 5-star, that means they're gonna ask for more money. So you gotta keep that in mind. They're gonna ask for more money. So you're gonna have to keep them engaged because we see what Auburn is capable of. We see, the teams like the Georgia and Ohio State and the Texas. They're capable of outbidding Alabama.
Hey,
And
Miami's throwing money.
It's becoming a money game. So we got to keep that in mind. You can be committed for the love of this script A, but when a team comes with life-changing money for you and your family, and you come from a small town, you know what I'm saying? You never saw that many zeros on a piece of paper with your name on it. You're gonna commit, and
Hey man, $100,000 looks good, bro. $100,000 look good on paper, bro.
For a 17-year-old. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
dude, I would have committed to Montana University for $100,000 at 17 years old.
Look, man. Forget Montana. I would have committed to the University of Timbuktu. You give me that.
I would commit. Look,
even at 100.
I would have committed to that other school in this state for
man. I would have committed to Backyard University.
No, I wouldn't went to Auburn. I ain't gonna go that far.
JB, I don't care, bro.
I ain't going that far, but yeah, I feel
sign me up. I'm gonna tear my hamstring against Alabama that game.
Hey,
JT said he gonna tear his hamstring in that game.
I'm gonna pour a little bit of laxative in the Gatorade real quick. We're gonna be good, y'all. Don't worry.
Yeah, but y'all get it though. Y'all get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got to think about it. You got to think about it as a 16, 17-year-old kid now. You got to think about that.
JB, something I saw, Alabama, Ohio State, and I think it was Oklahoma. I'm not sure about Oklahoma, but I know Alabama and Ohio State charging for admission to practices to NIL boost. And they're one of the first teams to do that. And I saw that in a report the other day, and I thought that was a really, really, really great idea to boost NIL money.
You mean
where people pay to go view practice? They're talking about doing that. I'm not. Stephen F. Smith might be able to tell more about that. I read it in a thing the other day. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I have. They are having that out. They're getting people to pay to view the practice, and the funds go to the NIL collective. So that's
good.
That's what they're doing. Also, fan day and open practice will be on the 11th of this month, August 11th. So open practice is back. Open practice is back. It's going to be a 2-hour open practice. Fans, you get there 10:30 that Saturday, the 11th. The gates are going to be open. You go in there. You watch 2 whole hours of practice for free. You watch 2 whole hours of practice.
I'll be there.
August the 11th.
For the NIL, I unfortunately think it goes a little bit deeper than just having players stay. It's going to have some type of outside organization is going to have to look over all of it. It's going to get, unfortunately, it's going to get that out of hand. It's going to have to take an agency type of system where contracts if you sign on this dotted line, you are committed to this school for X amount of time and so on and so forth. And then my next question or my next thing for Steven is because Jimmy Lee Baker just put it in the chat, and I'm very curious because people forget we had the all-time AA scorer leave our school this year. How is our kicking game looking? We haven't talked about it very much.
Oh, you don't.
Okay.
Oh, you don't know, do you, Marshall?
No, I haven't heard
yeah.
about.
Graham Nichols is
Uh-huh.
good.
Okay.
Graham
Who beat?
Nicholson, the
Who won the
Lou
award last
Groza,
year?
the Lou
Yeah.
Groza Award winner from last year at Miami of Ohio is now at Alabama. Graham Nicholson.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next best thing you can ask for.
He's got a leg. He's
Yeah.
got a leg. Also, James Burnip, the punter, he's looking fresh right now too. So I think the kicking game is not going to be an issue. You got two experienced guys with Burnip and Graham Nicholson.
Got a question for you. Another question for you down there.
As far as
Jaleel Hurley.
Jaleel actually had like a one-handed circus pick today. It was crazy. Went up in the air, caught it with one hand, came down. Like Jaleel's in that fight too at corner. Jaleel's in that fight. So Coach Molenquist, he talked about it. They've got they're repping like 6 corners. Like Bama's repping like 6, 7 corners. So Jaleel's in that fight. He's not giving an inch. He's in there. So it literally comes down to, when we get down to scrimmages, who can push themselves up in the scrimmage where you're inside Brian Denny, they turn the lights on, the coaches take a step back, who can play fast, who can be effective out there. But through the first 3 days, Jaleel ain't backing away from it.
Yeah, and so that means that seeing that fire, every time we talk about something, we're talking about fire. Somebody's playing this, somebody's doing great this, somebody's playing good here, which is good because that's pushing everybody in front of them, or somebody behind them's pushing the person in front of them, which is just elevating our game. Like Don just said, guys, hit the like and subscribe button if you guys are in here. We got 100 in here right now, 100 plus guys. Hit that like and subscribe, guys. We thank you guys for being here with us too, man.
Steven, so fan day practice, is that going to be like a scrimmage or just a regular practice?
It's kind of a bit of both. It starts off like a regular practice. They have indie period. They'll break everybody off, and each position group will be doing its own thing. But I think toward the end, it's going to actually be like a small scrimmage. Like a small scrimmage type of deal. So it's a little bit of both.
Okay. Well, I'll be there. I'm looking for you, Steven.
Hey, man, I will be there live and in color. Probably trying to find Jeff Allen to grab a towel.
Yeah, give me a towel too.
Trying to get a towel.
I'm gonna be there with the title towel. I'm there with the title towel.
You gonna be there with the title towel. I will be there with Jeff Allen to find a wet towel to put on the back of my neck. That's all. That's all. Look. That's all I'm trying to do right now. I mean, that's all I'm trying to do, especially after these first 3 days. I know Don's had any word on the first scrimmage. Well, Don, there's no word yet on the first scrimmage. Nothing's been confirmed right now. But in the next coming days or the next week or so, we will get that word on the first scrimmage here. Fall camp, which all of those scrimmages will be inside of Brian Denny. They're going to have them right there. Of course, we'll get the information on who did what, how did these guys look, how did they play, but nobody's put out, the exact, this is going to be the first scrimmage. So once we get word on that, I'll put that out there.
Okay.
Yo, shout out to Justin real quick in the chat, man. I see you, brother, man. Man coming through to my Bama brothers right there. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, brother, man. Coming through, man. So we want to try to we're running up on 50 minutes. We didn't try to go too far over tonight.
Okay, so Justin's like, how many more practices, Stephen? Well, Justin, it's 21. We went through 3, so we got 18 more. We got about 18 more.
That title towel.
That is true, and I think that's going to be the fun part, man. These practices over the next, couple weeks, man, leading up.
The practices and these scrimmages are going to be exciting because after the first scrimmage is where you start to see the coaching staff narrow down that roster to here the starters are right here. Here are the guys who need to rep more. So after that first scrimmage, after that first scrimmage, that's when you start seeing the coaching staff really begin to narrow that list down and rep the starters. So it's going to be interesting.
Good info,
Yeah,
Steven.
man. And we're gonna kind of go to the wide receiver kind of segment we got tonight, guys. Which wide receiver hits 1K? Will we have one? Will we have two? Will we have three? It depends, how you're gonna look at this. It depends on how you're gonna break this down. JB, I'm gonna let you go first on this. Then we'll go over to Marshall, and then we'll go over to Stephen M. Smith, and I'll wrap us up. While we're doing this too, I want you to give me your top 3 Bama receivers. So give them to me in order, even if they don't hit 1K. Okay, but just give me what you think is going to be in order by receiving yards, though. So JB, who you got, man?
Well, by order. So okay, I know everybody's high on Jeremy Bernard. Bernard, he coming over, had a great 8-day game. He knows the system the best. But guys, Kendrick Law and Kobe Prentice, they were there last year. There's a lot of familiarity there with Jalen. And what I've been hearing and seeing, Kendrick Law is ready to step up and be either wide receiver 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to say Kobe Prentice. I'm going to say Kobe Prentice first. Okay, I'm going to say Kobe Prentice. I'm going to go Jeremy Bernard, and I'm going to go Kendrick Law. I think Kendrick Law gets a lot of carries out of the wide receiver position if they use him right. In that Deebo Samuel type thing, I think he gets a lot of wide receiver screens, a lot of reverses and stuff like that. Jeremy Bernard is going to be one of the guys who can get separation, get open. He knows the plays. He's going to know where to go. And I think Kobe Prentice is in for a 1K season. I think he's going to be the one that's in to go over 1K. Bernard could possibly go over 1K. I see those two. I think Law gets maybe 700 because he probably won't get as many touches as the other guys.
Okay. So, and I like that take too, man. Kendrick Law, he's going to get a lot of touches, and I can see that one right there. Marshall, man, who we got, man?
A little bit. I love Jeremy Bernard. Knowing the system's definitely an advantage, of course. I love what I've seen clips and bits and pieces from Kobe Prentice, just cooking people in practice. I will have to agree with Jay. I think he is going to get a handful of targets to be able to get the 1,000-yard season. But I have to a little bit disagree. I think Kendrick Law will get over 1,000 yards all purpose. Maybe not receiving, but all purpose. Like 700 plus yards receiving, and then another 300 to 500 the reverses and everything. Because as I mentioned earlier, hitting 24 miles an hour as a human being is freakishly fast.
Yeah,
you have no idea you are moving at 24 miles an hour. And then my sneaky third would have to be Ryan. I love what I've been seeing from him. I think he's gonna creep up on some people. I think the hype is well warranted, and I'm just very excited to see what that wide receiver room. And then from earlier in the show, Stephen M. Think about what the DBs are doing to the wide receivers, and the wide receivers are doing for.
Yeah,
it's a concoction. It's a concoction that is going to be incredible to watch this season.
Yeah, no diddy. So I had to throw that one in there. Stephen M. Smith, how you feeling about these Bama wide receivers? We got one's gonna hit 1K, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6.
Now, I think you know what. I honestly have two that will hit 1K.
Wow.
I have two.
Okay.
I've got Prentice will hit the 1K straight up. I go back to Marshall's point. I think Kendrick Law hits the 1K all purpose. I think Jeremy Bernard is going to be somewhere in between 400 to 500 yards. But I think the guy that's going to be sneaky good to watch this season, I say he's a Kevin Norwood, Marquise Mays type. Watch Cole Adams. I think Cole is going to be sneaky good. Cole Adams in traffic, over the middle, tough catches. He reminds me a lot of Kevin Norwood. Cole Adams will make the tough catch, get his bell rung, and still hold on to the football. He's a tough catch machine. It's Cole Adams.
That.
Wow.
People forget this kid out of Oklahoma was a world-class track athlete. His junior year of high school, when he had 55 catches, 913 yards, 6 touchdowns. The only reason Cole didn't play his senior year, he hurt his shoulder. I talked to Jamarcus Shepard today. Jamarcus Shepard was like, man, Cole is Mr. Reliable. He's got consistent hands. He don't drop a ball. He ain't no big dude, but he will throw all 100 pounds of himself all over the field. So Cole Adams, sneaky good.
So I like all that. I love the Cole Adams pick there. And what I love the most is that we're all about to be different here, because mine is totally different. I'm going to be almost completely opposite of Stephen M. Smith right here. I think Jeremy Bernard is going to have 1,300 yards. I think he's going to be deep threat. I think he's going to be the next Jameis Williams / Gibbs plug and play for Bama. The reason I say that is, one, Kendrick Law is going to get a lot of pop passes. He's going to get those jet sweeps. He's going to get those looks. He's going to get some down the field looks, probably too. But Kobe Prentice in the slot, he's going to get some too. I can see that. But I think Kendrick Law on that, not Kendrick Law, but Jeremy Bernard, we're going to have him on that outside right there. We're going to run the ball very effectively this year. So that PA, that play action, look up, man, and have him streaking down, man, I think it's going to be wide open sometimes. And I think that right there is going to lead him to some bigger games. And I think that's what's going to lead him to have more yards. I think we're going to have 2, but I think Kobe Prentice is going to be my second. And I think, like Marshall said, kind of with Kendrick Law 700-800, and then him getting about 200-300 rushing. A little bit of a different way, but it still counts. Those are still first downs. So yeah, I'm super excited. But I think that's mine right there. And then Ryan Williams is right there at the 4th and could make a sneak up depending on PT. But also, we got to remember, halfway through the season, we may get Hale back. And if we get him back, he's going to be very healthy. But also at the same time, you don't want to rush him back. But he is very lethal down the field. So he is a slash and go type receiver. So yeah.
And then last but not least, you can't forget about E-Man Emmanuel Henderson.
I was going to say that.
Where does E-Man factor in all of this? Because he was a burner coming out of high school. So where does he factor in all of this? So it's going to be crazy, this group of wide receivers. And then, oh my Lord, you got Caleb Odom.
I was about to ask you that.
You got Caleb Odom at 6'5", and that type of size and ability, and where does that fit into this entire puzzle? So
red zone target.
Nick Sheridan has the best problem in the world right now.
Of course.
He is having to scheme out an offense where, how can we frustrate the mess out of everybody else in college football?
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. Yeah. That's going to be a fun thing to watch as a Bama fan, especially these wide receivers this year. I think we're going to get back to having a first-round draft pick. We're going to have that talent again back at wide receiver. I think also if you look at it – what's up, Marshall?
Just one more question. Do you guys think any of our wide receivers are going to have a lot of touchdowns, or do you think it's going to be more of a they get us there and the running backs punch it in?
No, I think Milroe's going to have about 4,600 passing yards, and I think he's probably going to be 35-ish to 40 touchdowns rushing and pass, I say combined there, because he's gonna get him some on the ground. Think he's gonna pass him. I think this team's gonna light it up. I'm at 40 to 45 points a game. I'm almost willing to put anything on it, man. I think this team is going to do it. I think they're going to put up them points. I think the defense will gel along the way and get better as we go, which is what we need anyways, because our season gets tougher down the line. And I think our offense is going to be humming. It might not be the first quarter of that game. They might be trying to work out some signal calls and stuff on the field. But once they get going, guys, there are going to be some flashes. People are going to be like, oh, 2020. You're going to have those flashbacks to when you just seen somebody streaking down the field by itself in a rainbow to them. I'm telling you, man, it's going to look beautiful this year. And while we're talking about that, let's move on to the LANK documentary right here to wrap up the show tonight, guys. If you haven't watched it yet, after this, and after you rewatch the show, or you hit like, subscribe, leave us a comment, go watch the LANK documentary. It is amazing, guys. It's only like 24 minutes long. The documentary explains so many things in there. Stephen M. Smith can break some of it down for us, but one thing I highlighted it earlier. Greg said that this is something they give back to their athletes that come to Alabama. So maybe if you're a young athlete and you see that, you're like, dang, they're buying into their players. Look at that. They created a whole thing, and now they're making money off of a thing they created, So I think that's a big recruitment pitch there, too, going forward, especially in today's modern NIL type pay-for-play type situation. Stephen M. Smith, what'd you feel about the LANK documentary?
I enjoyed it. I thought the biggest thing I took from it was how Jalen Milroe and Terrion Arnold, they left it also for their teammates. They wanted their teammates to benefit off of it. And that's really cool because LANK didn't grow until Arnold and Milroe started growing together as players. So keep in mind, prior to this past season, no one thought Terrion Arnold would have been a first-round pick. But he helps co-start LANK, and Terrion starts growing and growing and growing and growing until he leads the team last year, 5 interceptions, 12 pass breakups. He's a first-round pick. And then Jalen Milroe, yes, the loss to Texas hurt. Yes, him being benched for Tyler Buckner against South Florida. Yes, that sucked. But from the Ole Miss game to beating Georgia in the SEC championship, you saw him get better and better and better and take that leap and that progression, and to see how both of those young men created not just an acronym, but a rallying cry to put the team together. And it became not only an acronym and a rallying cry, but it became something everybody could profit off of. That was huge by Milroe and Terrion to say, you know what? LANK ain't just for us two, it's for everybody. And they allowed the softball team to profit off of it, the basketball team profit off of it, the gymnastics team profit off of it, every athletic sporting venue profited off LANK. So that's huge by Milroe and Terrion to allow everybody to gain from it.
Very unselfish too, man, because they could have just, like you say, Steven, they could have just said, hey, this all y'all get y'all own thing. But it's very unselfish, and it showed their leadership. And like they said in the documentary, they kind of took it on. It kind of, after that Ole Miss game, it kind of took off, because that's when I feel like Jalen kind of took off. And we went on an incredible run, and it just stopped at the Michigan game. But I'm glad that LANK is continuing to go on and go strong. Great documentary. And, I mean, you could have said it any better, Steven.
Yeah, I agree. Love the documentary. Love how they broke it down. Marshall, if you hadn't seen it yet, man, I'd go check it out, dude. It's a great watch, man, only like 24 minutes. LANK documentary is fantastic, man. It breaks down all of LANK and everything to do with it, man. Yeah, man. Man, I just wish it was like tomorrow was the game or something, man. Like I'm just ready to wake up, man, and be like, it's game day.
I see a
Man,
lot of haters in the chat. Well, you know, Chris Williams and all them talking about Miro. You know, it's his fault. We like, yeah, but I tell you this. He's 10 times better than Peyton Thorne.
Way light years beyond
look,
that.
all I'll say is this. I'll watch Jalen Milroe, aka the deep ball god, throwing bombs to Jalen Milroe threw a bomb to Kendrick Law, who caught it right in front of me. I'll just leave it at that.
Ooh.
Kendrick Law caught the bomb right in front of me. Like I got it on live camera. Like Kendrick almost ran me over.
Send that to my phone. I need to see that one.
Yeah. So Kendrick Law caught a bomb right in front of me. Jalen Milroe threw a bomb to what's his name, Caleb Odom, who caught it near where I was. So I'm just saying, I'm out here fall camp in the middle of all the bombs being thrown. I'm trying to not get ran over. So that just tells you Jalen Milroe done worked on the passing game.
It's nothing new, but that's nothing new. He's been throwing the deep ball well. He did it all last season. It's the intermediate throws. We need to see him
He's also cleaned that up too, though. Because the mid-level, he had a 10-yard rope in practice to the boundary to Jeremy Bernard, who had a toe tap catch. Like, I'm like, okay, like he's cleaning the whole thing. Not the short intermediate game is there, y'all.
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
It's there.
So, guys, we've had a good night tonight, guys. Before we end it up, though, we got to give a shout out to Workspace Solution, guys.
Yes.
If your team is looking for a full-fledged marketing team, SEO, and more, they're who you guys need to contact today, guys. Right here at the bottom, workspacepros.com. Who else we sponsored by, JB, before we end it out, man?
Title Tower, you already know the football season truly never ends. Support your Crimson Tide 365 days of the year. Get your Title Tower. Go to whitwillsports.com. Use the promo code Standard. Get you a nice little discount, courtesy of your favorite Bama network. And if you can make next Sunday for Fan Day, at Brian Denny, Tuscaloosa, I will be there with the Title Tower with Stephen M. and whoever else want to be there with me. Title Tower around my neck is going down, baby. So y'all come to Fan Day next week.
And seriously though, before we wrap up the show here, to the fans out there, you definitely want to take in Fan Day. You want to take in the open practice because fans, this is the practice that it's free. You get to sit in the stadium, fans, and you get to have your roster in your hand, and you get to watch for yourself who's stepping up, who looks good, who's got potential, who's a baller, who can be a contributor. You get to watch that 2-hour practice for free for yourself to see who's really the big deal. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret here, people. The A-Day game is a formality. That's for the fans and whatnot. But that open practice in August,
that's real.
That's real. That's who you determine who starts. That open practice in August is the real thing. That's going to let you know who going to be numero uno starting and who going to be the depth behind that guy. So that open practice is the real deal.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's at Brian
April
Denny.
just to scratch that itch that we got. Because we're about 3-4 months out from after January. We need something to scratch that itch. That's why they let you get the 8A game in. And then you go through summer. And then you get to August, but that's when you start cutting lineups and depth charts, and you start.
I'm telling you, man,
that
out, man. I can't tell you guys how many open practices I've been to, and I've seen some stuff at an open practice, and I'm like, that guy's gonna end up starting, and that guy end up starting. I'm gonna tell this story before we wrap up because I remember 2017. I'll never forget this. 2017. I'm out here in open practice in August, and I'm inside the stadium. I'm talking to Cam Sims. And so I'm talking to Cam since I'm like, Cam, if Calvin Ridley is covered or he's not open on a play, who do you get the ball to? There are so many guys that walk past Cam Sims. He doesn't recognize, he doesn't honor those guys. It was Jerry Jeudy that walked past Cam. Henry Ruggs walked past Cam. Robert Foster walked past Cam. Cam says nothing. Cam takes me by my right hand, walks me to the whole other side of the field, points to a soaking wet 165-pound Devontae Smith and said, that's the guy.
Wow.
I'm like, Cam, you got to be kidding me. He said, that Tay is a dog. He ain't going to drop nothing on guard. He ain't going to drop nothing. And I walk into the stadium. I walk into the press box, that open practice. I kid you not, Devontae Smith did not drop a ball.
Right.
And
Wow.
as I'm telling you, that open practice shows you a lot. Smitty didn't drop a ball. And it went from what I saw from him at open practice to him catching that championship touchdown pass from Tua, 2nd and 26. All of that started from me watching an open practice that August.
So it was
That's
your
huge,
fault.
man.
It was your fault. You manifested it all, Steven.
That's what it was.
Yes, it was my fault. But I'll take the blame for that because it got
Okay, I'm just
championship.
trying to give you a little credit. That's all.
Hey, you know what? It's my fault, but you know what? I'll take the championship anyway.
Hey, JB, man, tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
You can find me on Twitter as always, young_ENT_. Also, Sports Talking with JB. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm about to crank back up for another season. And you can find us here on Saturdays, but starting September the 1st, Sunday Night Talk'n Bama. We will be moving to Sunday nights starting September the 1st, the day after the first game. So you can catch us on Sunday nights during the whole season right here on the Bama Stamp.
Right after the games, guys, we're going to have a live recap for right after the game. So remember that. So whenever the game ends, we're going to have a panel set up and we're going live probably. I mean, as soon as that clock's hit 0, we're live talking about the game. Stephen M. Smith, man, where can we find you at? Tell the people what's up, what you got going on this coming up week and whatnot, man.
The folks can find me, touchdownalabama.com. We're rolling out the Bama content fall camp. Touchdownalabama.com is where they can find me as I will be continuing being out there at camp, getting all the information that I can get. They can find me on Twitter at Coaching M. Smith on Twitter. On Tuesdays, they can find me, the Bama Standard, right here on the Flag Show. On Saturdays, Talking Bama, I make my appearances here. So I'm going to get myself prepared for another week of being out there with these guys. And hopefully this time they'll let me jump in the cold tub.
Yeah, take a dip on in that cold tub. Man, that's probably got to be crazy being on that, man. That's probably like 30 more degrees being on that field, man.
Man, I mean, JT, you get out there, you already start sweating. They get the music cranked up. You try to wipe the sweat off your face with Lil Boosie playing, and you don't know, do I wipe the sweat off? Do I dance? Do I not draw attention to myself?
Man.
Like, what am I supposed to do here?
Your hips already moving at that point.
I mean, at that point, I'm looking at the guy holding the aux cord like, you played this song at this moment.
Yeah, bro.
This the one you played.
You gotta keep that energy going, baby. You already know.
I'm not mad at the guy holding the aux cord.
Hey,
he getting paid.
They had the whiskey song with Morgan Wallen and Moneybagg Yo going the other day, and I was like, no, okay.
I'm just saying, like they did, like probably the hardest song they had playing, and this was when I was watching the safeties going through drills. They had Nipsey Hussle banging.
Oh,
I'm like, oh man,
that was probably riding.
Yeah,
probably riding. Well, guys, you can find me at Roll Tide Nation on TikTok. I am Jay Glaze on X/Twitter, whatever you kids call it nowadays. And here on Saturday Night Talk'n Bama. But like JB said, we'll be on Sunday Night Talk'n Bama September 1st. We got a couple more Saturdays to go, guys. And the reason for that is we're going to do a show right after the game. So we're going to move our show to Sunday nights. And then we'll just you're going to have us followed with the rest of the Bama crew on the regular nights throughout this week. Thank you guys for joining us so much tonight. Super love to the chat.
Appreciate you guys.
Don coming through. Kat, thank you so much. Great show. Thank you, Roll Tide. All you guys, thank y'all so much. And I won't give a piss about nothing but the time,
Nothing but the
baby.
time, baby.
We out,
See
baby.
y'all next week. Yes,
That was
sir.
a good show, bro. That was a good show, bro.
Yeah.